Infinity Castle is out in Japan in July, I think. Might be later for us. But I was on the website. This cool image of Tomioka Giyu was up there, high quality. So let's draw it. I'm on a landscape page. Pencil eraser, hit pause if I go too fast. So, head real small, right? We're going to try the full pose because I'm on a landscape page, so he's kind of long, so it'll fit nicely, hopefully. His head is real small, and the hands with the sword are real small, and then it's all like flowy fabric, basically, right? So we're going to start up here, zoom into this, right? Very, very small face. But we'll do our best to get a little bit of detail in there anyway. And we're in 3/4 pose, okay? So a big eye, a small eye, head slightly turned away. So we'll start with the small eye first, and we'll just get it going. Curved line over this way, right? And just get the general sort of shape of it. There is like details of eyelashes and things, right? But it kind of generally curves over that way. And then the bottom eyelid is just kind of like a V shape. It's like it's not round, it's kind of got angles to it, you know. So in Demon Slayer, they generally thicken up the top eyelid line and make it kind of spiky. So we just try and darken it up. And maybe make it a bit hairy at the back. You know, these sort of things coming off here. Okay, and then his eyes. So he has big blue eyes. And it just curves around, nearly touches the bottom eyelid line, and then comes back up to there. And then his pupil. Sometimes this isn't drawn in, funnily enough, on this character, but it is this time. So we'll just do black. And he's got a big frowning eyebrow, so like a check mark starting here, and it goes up pretty long. Disappears underneath his hair, and the front is usually thicker than the back. Give him an eyelid line. And he's got like another little frown sort of there. So his other eye's behind his nose, right? So his nose just starts here, curves a bit, and then the pointy part comes out, down like that, and then a nostril. And then up here we get the eyebrow going straight up, right? So we got a bit of a frown, and then the eyebrow goes up and sort of back. And again, disappears underneath hair, and the front is a bit darker and thicker. This eye comes out from just where the eyebrow sort of touches here, kind of in line with the top of the eye on the other side, right? So it comes out like going that way. And again, it can be thick and sort of darker if you want. Bottom eyelid line, kind of like that V sort of shape again, just there. And then his iris, looking up sort of to the left hand side, so kind of a semicircle just here, kind of closer to the nose than the other side. And he has pretty big eyes. And then the black pupil, curving around there. And we'll color that in, like so. So that's like the eye situation. There's another eyelid line there. So his mouth sort of downturned, right? And because we're in 3/4 pose, the mouth like isn't in the middle, right? It's kind of, it starts like the other side of the mouth sort of starts there, right? So say if we went over and back, okay, so it's kind of small there, and they just do another little point just there. Kind of looks like Tanjiro. And then they have that sort of Demon Slayer shadow underneath, a little triangle just underneath his bottom lip. So it goes sort of down in that diagonal there because the face sort of curves, especially when we're in 3/4. And then his chin, it's pretty pointy just here. So we have a jaw on this side and his cheek on this side, and both of them sort of go up pretty close to his hair. So the jaw first, right, it'll go kind of beside his eye. We'll sort of aim for this spot just beside the eye. So you can go up or down. So you can start at the bottom or you can start up there. And it's not like a strong Dragon Ball jaw. It's kind of like a gradual bend. You know, like in other animes, they go like sharp to there and then change direction. This one sort of slowly curves. The other side is slightly different, but it's not too much, but it goes sort of in a bit and out, right? Like slight, you could go straight, it wouldn't really make much of a difference. And then you go around the cheek up for the jaw. And we're going to stop just underneath his eye sort of here because his hair sort of comes in. You could keep going if you wanted and then erase things afterwards, but it's probably easier to just stop here. So he has lots of long black hair. He kind of reminds me of a sort of Madara type character, that sort of intense look. So we go spiking here first, right? And the hair's all going this way because he's kind of, it's a dynamic sort of pose, right? So we go up and then it goes that way. And this is all his fringe, right? Then we have another one down to there, back up, down, like that, up, there. Okay. Now remember, hit pause if I'm going too fast. Pause your video. It's a very useful thing to do. Just pause it, slow it down to your own pace. Up to there, down like that. And then this eventually comes to a large spike going back into there. So he has like one big one there. And then there's more, obviously. So we'll just keep going with this. Got a little bit of his ear in here. That eyebrow kind of keeps going in that gap then. Another little spike in here. And more. So we're just layering it up now. It's basically the same process. And you're just sort of adding more and more spikes. Okay, so there's like a little bump here again, actually. And then he's like a long ponytail like section, so it's just, again, it's just more sort of kind of longer spikes. Might be some texture on them a little bit. And I think that's all his hair, apart maybe from a couple behind his arm over that side. So while we're up in this corner, so like his body all goes back that way, but we have like the sword and hands here. Okay, so he's got like, maybe we'll get them in the right position. So we have his shoulder, which comes like right underneath his jaw. Okay, like, and like underneath these hair spikes, okay? And then this has like flowing sort of like bumpy sort of sleeve lines, right? And there's loads of fabric all back here. Very, very loose clothing, okay? Right, and this sort of all hangs down. And then his sleeve comes out of here, like his wrist. So you've got like his black section of his sleeve, like that. And then his white section of his shirt, of his Demon Slayer uniform. The other one is above his head. So he has another flowing, that green and yellow section up here. So it's like it's all bendy and flowy up here. And then his sleeve comes out this way. The black section first, and then the white section again, just around his wrist. Right? So now hands. Hands are tricky. Take your time. They're always hard. So his wrist comes out here, right? And then his hand comes around the handle of the blade, right? So you want these to be in line. You know, you want one to be like pretty much directly over the other, kind of going this way. So we have his knuckles, 2, 3, 4. And then his thumb goes on the other side of the handle, right? So the handle comes out here and goes down into the other hand. So we'll just add some finger lines now. Right, and they do some like knuckles. Right? And the other hand is faced up the other way, right? So it's an over-under grip. So he has the over grip. And then the bottom, so say like we can see like the palm of his hand. Sort of like that, like a double bump. And then like his wrist bones there. And then the thumb is sort of over the fingers. Right, you could have like a thumbnail. And then So he's grabbing the sword. So you got 2 fingers here. And then the knuckles for each one comes down the handle of the sword. And then it goes behind the final section, so which is the hilt. Right, so you have this red sort of a diamond shape kind of here. It's kind of concealing the rest of his finger and some of the handle. And there's just like fingernails there. Right, so the sword, you could use a ruler for this. It does tend to have a bit of a curve in it. So it's kind of up to you if you want to curve it or keep it straight. So let's see. So we'll start here anyway. Top of it's dead straight. There is some extra details. I'll do these first. So like there's little sort of diamonds and things on. Right, and we'll go for this blade. So you can keep it dead straight with a ruler, or we can curve. So maybe I'll curve a little bit. Nice. So right down there, it's kind of pointy down there. So there is a bit of a curve in it there, see? So, and if you're able to keep it straighter than mine with a ruler, feel free. And then, so he has the black part which curves out here. Goes down that way, so that's all like black in there. Right, a bit of hair behind here. And then his collar and his neck and stuff. So his sort of white collar coming around this way. And the red collar's in there somewhere. So everything's flowing fabric now. And then his like feet, obviously, which is tradition. It's all traditional Japanese stuff. So we'll do like the back of his sort of sleeve back here. It's all yellow and green. Now, if you want to do all those boxes, you know, go for that. I would color it yellow and green at least, I'd say. And then we'll go at the back. It's just I think there's enough detail in this for a drawing than adding like loads of cubes. We'll try and keep it a bit easier because it is full bodies are hard. Right, and then this sleeve sort of hangs down here. I think it goes up. And stuff sort of folding around here. And like a big flowing part all going this way. and back up like it goes like in behind his hair here, so it comes out and down that way. And then there's a divide between the red part and the green and yellow part. And then we have some more sort of folding lines all here. Okay, so that's like his top half. Now the legs. So again, very baggy, loose. So we'll just go for this leg, which like stretches all the way sort of out here. And when you get down to close to his feet, it all kind of gets bunched up. So there's like all this bumpy stuff here, because it's all like wrapped around his calf muscle, you know, sort of like that. And then I'll go back up towards his midsection, basically there. There's all detail lines in that. We'll just get the general shape of it. So this is his knee going the other way. All bumpy. Coming around here. Okay. And we got some details inside here. So we've got kind of a belt area. And so there is kind of a loose baggy section like right here. And the belt is like inside that, I think. It goes off this way. There's like a line that runs this way as well. And all these fabric lines. You can do as much of this now as you want, really. Some more sort of folding fabric stuff here. And right, there's a belt in here then, so it just like comes to there, and then there's like a buckle. Like that. Okay, now we'll focus on the feet. So his sort of bandaged ankle and calf sort of comes around here. And this has like all these bandage lines coming around it. And then the ankle, so it's got all these straps and things. So we'll go this way. There's like a little thing that goes in between his toes. There, and then another strap going around the back of his foot, it looks like. There's like a little fold. And then his toes have got these. It's basically like a sock. Two lines, and then the bottom kind of like that, and then the other side. We got these things on the back here. I think they're like the way the bandages are tied or something. And then bandages all coming around. Bandages probably aren't the right word for that, but that's what they look like. And then his other foot, smaller, going that direction. So we see like his heel sort of coming around here, and then it's all strapped up. So like the front of the ankle's there. And then I think this way, a strap. And then like, there's a little ball or something there. And then another strap. And then a toe. And then like the strap on the other side of his foot. And then the sole of that sort of flip-flop sort of thing. There. So, I think that's everything. Tomioka Giyu. Hope it's helpful. Looking forward to Infinity Castle. See you in the next one. Bye.